Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. And today, as I mentioned earlier, is the anniversary of the birthday of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And it is and which is an important thing, right? I mean, the entire phenomena of the American middle class was brought about by Franklin Roosevelt. And I'll explain more about that in just a moment. And it's also the anniversary, the 38th anniversary of the Supreme Court's Buckley versus Vallejo decision, a Supreme Court decision which established the groundwork for the corruption of politics that we are seeing writ large today, where Democrats can get more than 50%. You know, Democrats nationwide can more than half of them, more than half of the people who voted nationwide voted for a Democrat for the House of Representatives, and yet Republicans control the House of Representatives. How'd that happen? Gerrymandering. How did that happen? Republicans taking state offices. How did that happen? Big money in politics. Americans know the Republicans are the party of the billionaires. They know that the Republicans want to tear down Social Security. They want to tear down Medicare. They don't want there to be a minimum wage. They want to send your jobs overseas. They're pushing right now for legislation so that billionaires can bring, the money that they've been hiding from taxes overseas, bring it back and make it illegal for the federal government to investigate that. I mean, and which, by the way, will help out the drug launderers and the terrorists. I'm not making this up. I mean, the Republican agenda is bizarre. And Americans know that, Democrats want to extend unemployment benefits. Republicans want to cut them off. That Democrats want to fill the holes in Medicare that are right now being filled by private health insurance companies. And Republicans drilled those holes there in the first place so that the Stephen J. Hemsleys of the world, the CEO of United Healthcare, could make billions, hundreds of millions. People know this. So why don't they vote that way? Because of big money. Because it's not functionally, practically speaking, it's not illegal to lie in campaign ads. And it's certainly not illegal to selectively pick truths in campaign ads and pretend as if they are the truth. And so you take one small statement from somebody or one vote and make it as if that's their entire career. And if you've got enough money, and if you pound that over and over and over again, you can build them up or take them down, your choice, if you have the money. 38 years ago today, the Supreme Court said that money is protected by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution as if it was free speech, and therefore it cannot be regulated unless it is specifically violating some law like a bribery law. Now, the founders did not have this in mind. It's not in the Constitution, but 38 years ago today it happened. Now, back to Franklin Roosevelt. Today is his birthday. And, yesterday you heard me going on and on with clips from the FDR Library. By the way, the FDR Library is online now. And there's a lot of audio and a lot of video over there that you can get. It's all public domain. It's so funny. I play it on the air, and for some reason we put it on a YouTube, and they block it out. But we're going to start crediting the actual library every time we put it up to satisfy whatever the machine. I think some machine is knocking it down. But in any case, the natural state. Here's the point that I wanted to make. The natural state of an economy is not to have a middle class. Let me say that again. The natural state of an economy, if you have a free market, a market that is not regulated by government, the natural state of the economy is to have monopolies in business and monopolies in political power. In other words, a small number of very wealthy individuals and a small number of very powerful individuals. So you've got a small upper crust class. You have a small middle class. It's a necessary evil sort of thing, but it's there. And that is the people who have a skill set that kind of puts them above average working people, but keeps them way below the billionaires and the kings and queens. Charles Dickens wrote about them in all of his books. The one that you're probably most familiar with was A Christmas Carol. Ebenezer Scrooge was the middle class. Scrooge and Marley was a small business. It was a very small business. It had 2 employees, Scrooge and Bob Cratchit. It was a 2-person company. My business, this radio show, is bigger than Scrooge's show, okay? So Scrooge was the middle class in Victorian-era England because he owned a small business. So literally the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, the doctor, the lawyer, the small business owners, that was the middle class, and it was a small number of people. And then you had everybody else, which was the working poor. All the people working at, and in fact, England actually, during Charles Dickens' time, had maximum wage laws. It was illegal for Ebenezer Scrooge to pay Bob Marley more than a certain amount of money because he might, the thinking went something like this. If the working class, if the working poor, 95%, 98% of the population of England back during the Dickens time, during the reign of Queen Victoria, the vast majority of workers were the working poor. And the theory was, and the reason why they had maximum wage laws that only applied to working people, did not apply, obviously, to business owners, the middle class, and did not apply to the very wealthy. But the reason why they had maximum wage laws was because they felt that if those working poor people got enough money that they started feeling safe and secure, they would start raising hell. And that's not a good thing for society from the conservative point of view. Now, this is what Russell Kirk said in 1951 when he wrote The Conservative Mind. He said essentially the exact same thing that I just described to you. And he said, look out, because for the last 20 years, Franklin Roosevelt has been establishing something we've never seen before in America, that working people who rightly should be, now these are my words, not Russell Kirk's, but this is the essence of the argument, that working people who rightly should be the working poor are starting to become the middle class. Marley is starting to become Scrooge. And when that happens, all hell is going to break loose. In 1951, Russell Kirk predicted this. And by the 1960s, it was happening. Women were demanding equal rights. African Americans were demanding equal rights. Young people were saying, hell no, I won't go to your war. In fact, they were demanding the right to vote at the age of 18. They wanted even to drink at the age of 18 in a lot of places. You had gay people saying, wait a minute, Stonewall happened in, I think it was 68 or 69. You had all this stuff happen in the mid and late 60s. People rising up saying no. And of course, you had unions shutting down companies saying, you're going to pay us a damn decent wage. And you're going to give us a pension, and we're going to have we're going to be the middle class. We're going to have the American dream. And so Lewis Powell, this is the essence of my book, The Crash of 2016. Lewis Powell wrote this memo and said, we got to do something about this. He got on the Supreme Court, and you got the Buckley decision.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
38 years ago today. And it began the undoing of that artificially created middle class, artificially created by Franklin Roosevelt.